Now they call this a two-stroke. See, you got an Engine of the Gods and a Solar Engine here, both powering up this Lizardmen build from Black versus Bob on ladder. Gonna be a great time here as we see Lizardmen versus the Demons of Chaos. That's right, we got Nurglings up front, including the Regiment of Renown here. Looks like 4 in total. Blues and pinks in a giant checkerboard formation with a couple of Plague Bear, Bloodletter, random units scattered around. Exalted Lord of Change, Lore of Metal, fantastic as ever. He's got a single Fury Summon, used to be 2, was obviously twice as good back then. We've also got the Eternal Entourage, Regiment of Renown, Heartseekers, quite an expensive and squishy unit hidden out there in the woods, ready to tactically deploy. Black is similarly spread here with a bunch of skink skirmishers, skink cohort. He's got them backed up with some Cold One Spear Riders here, double engine, and then a couple feral Cold Ones scattered around as well. Looks like a Red Crest out on this flank. So we're going to see some little skirmishing initially. The Cackling Bird is happy to take these blowpipes to the face, fly back and then regenerate a bit. Oh, nice accurate shot there from the Solar Engine. Lands, and again, still doesn't quite fully get through the barrier, so honestly, it's just kind of expending ammunition. Not a lot of benefit. I mean, if you could follow up with something and actually deal damage after the barrier is down, then obviously it's not necessarily wasted, but that is the Zinchian tricks to try and expend some ammunition and waste it here. But Ancient Stegodon, Engine of the Gods, going to pull back a little bit. Does get an upgraded Plague of Rust with that extra spell mastery. A nice 69 armor torn away. Pulls away there. We see the Banishment unleashed from the Slon. Bound Banishment's going to come in, do some decent damage, cut through the barrier, and do some okay damage to these blues. At least disrupt this formation here. Allow some of the skinks and Cold One Spear Riders get in there. Start to muscle around this flank. The Bloodletters will be a little bit tough. They've got nice AP in charge, so even though they're not anti-large, they'll be a decent target. The Bird lands here as well with some Furies just to kind of disrupt this flanking maneuver, trying to protect its ranged units for as long as possible, you know, threaten these skink skirmishers as well, pulls back a lot of the kind of resources that would otherwise be going to ranged. Oh, a beautiful orbital laser also lands here, cuts those Frolickers, bubonic, and I mean, the area of effect is long enough, it's going to come in and damage these blue horrors, which, considering their barrier is already down, that cuts good amount of HP damage there. Probably value-wise, that wasn't insane, but yeah, nice to see that ability to use to some good effect. But yeah, those feral Cold Ones ran in and just straight up lost to the Bloodletters. The Bloodletters now following up into the Skink Skirmishers, so a little bit of a tough time out on the far flank here, but eventually the Lizardmen should be able to power through, especially once those summons start to drop. Solar Engine also trying to land some hits there. If it could hit that Bloodletter, might save some. But Engine of the Gods does dive forward here, trying to disrupt the pink horrors, and the timing is a little bit rough. There's just not a lot of quick follow-up. You know, the Feral Cold Ones here and the Red Crest both still kind of bogged down in an engagement, so timing might have been a little bit early there as the Engine of the Gods takes a huge amount of damage. Going to get some healing, though. A little Earthblood there. Upgraded, of course, because of the Slons, so additional healing per second. Able to keep that thing in the fight somewhat, and now we do start to get some follow-up as the Cav start to rein in some of the pinks and the blues here. The Slon himself kind of unifying. Yeah, if these Red Crests and Feral Cold Ones could extricate themselves, that would be nicely beneficial as well. Then over on the far side, the Eternal Entourage have deployed. Find themselves in a head-to-head against the Cold One Spear Riders here, which initially they do take a good chunk of damage. You know, a quarter of their HP is down, but still they're able to outtrade the wounded Cold Ones here. Very nasty engagement here in the woods. And the Demons have a couple of power units ready to move in and try and get some additional value here. Maybe clean up some of these like weakened skinks, or reinforce, get to more higher value targets. We'll see where they decide to do. Yeah, looks like coming back to maybe help out that Lord of Change. We see another Banishment being unleashed by Black. Nicely placed on those AoEs so far. The, Banishment will cut through the barrier, do some real HP damage to those pinks, and more importantly, force them to move. Not allow them to continue firing. As the Cold One Spear Riders are trying to kind of push through here and make sure all these range units stay tied down. The problem is the Eternal Entourage are kind of hanging around now. It looks like they did wheel all the way up, and they're looking to engage on the Slan and the engine here. Blood Statuette of Spite, I believe, is that effect popping off. Yeah, a little bit of direct damage from the Slan on a high-value target. Definitely the best thing you could use it on in this army. Another nice orbital laser as well is going to force that blue into disintegration. Not the crispiest replacements, but still pretty good value there. Unfortunately, the Ancient Stegodon continue to draw a lot of fire. I guess that is somewhat advantageous to the Slan, but maybe you could try for a 2v1 here. Ooh, Exalted Lord of Change is going to charge in. Crafty Bird's quite dangerous in this kind of a situation. He's got a pretty good vigor. Then again, Ancient Stegodon's got great vigor here as well. But Cold-Blooded there to keep its leadership up. Plague of Rust actually pops on the Slan. I don't know if he meant to put it on the Stegodon there, but Stegodon is going down regardless because of the Eternal Entourage rear charge there. Lord of Change getting some nom-nom-noms. Oop, and he actually gets bounced by the butt there. A giant tail spike just repels him temporarily. But, ooh, if there was a regrowth available right now. It doesn't look like he actually brought regrowth, which is pretty unfortunate. Yeah, definitely pop it. I guess on the Slan himself at this point, as he is in pretty severe danger as well. Gets terrified away by the Lord of Change. And although there's still a lot of lizard units left on the field here, it's looking quite grim as the Slan continues to take damage. I don't know if there's... Yeah, it looks like the Cold One Spears are going to maybe try and screen, but the Skinks kind of get in the way too. Slan comes back just for a moment there. Top shield of the Old Ones, try and make a stand. Mitigate some of that damage. Narcissism does freeze him in place. That's very lucky on the army ability, actually. I don't know, can you actually influence that with your picks? Isn't it based like a percentage on your actual army selection? I don't remember exactly how it works. Anyway, Narcissism was the best possible army ability choice there for Daemons, and it allows the Slan to get pinned exactly when his leadership comes back, and then he just gets eaten on the route, Lord of Change, and that's going to cause a cascading army losses, which is unfortunate. I mean, if you look at what's left on the field here, there's still quite a bit of skink skirmishers. I mean, the Eternal Entourage here still being a little bit alive is a problem, but I think they are almost gone in terms of their leadership. Then you did have as well the, Solar Engine still had probably a lot of vigor to give. The vigor refresh was nerfed a little bit, but yeah, the army losses definitely hits hard there with the cascading route on the Lord Death. Is a little bit to be expected. Lizardmen's not the best leadership faction, just kind of across the board. Skink units in general tend to have pretty poor leadership, but overall, very fun battle. I thought there Black might have had it for a couple of plays. Had some beautiful placements on some of those AoEs, even if the necessarily value wasn't the best. I just think, again, the timing, had he held back a little bit there on the Ancient Stegodon, been a tiny bit more patient before that kind of deep deployment with the Cav and the Red Crest maybe moving in at the same time, could have wrapped up a lot of those range units before the Eternal Entourage arrive, and then maybe that engagement plays out a little bit differently if the Ancient Stegodon has more HP there to give. But credit to Bob, well played with the Crafty Bird, basically took very little damage on him. Great Lord if you can use him effectively. Honestly, probably one of the best in the game, just because of barrier and, spell mastery and having great spell lords, even if you only have 2 of them. They are 2 of generally of the best. I don't know, Tzeentch has fallen off a little bit, but Metal is still extremely good. Yeah, Eternal Entourage, also an excellent unit when used well, so just in general like this build quite a bit. Ooh, an Exalted Pink here was one of them that remained alive until the end and actually did get some pretty good range damage value as well. I like the one kind of random Bloodletter here to just cut through hordes of skinks, which they were able to do. So fun stuff for sure. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.